Howdy everybody, and welcome back to our GameMaker Studio 2 Fundamentals. Today we are going to talk about views, so let's get cracking. If we come back to our room that we made earlier, we have some opportunities to change we'll need to change some variables here to work with views. So if we come back down to our room settings, there is the viewports and cameras section. Click on that, click enable views, and make the viewport 0 visible. There's multiple views, but we're not going to be talking about multiple views right now because that is beyond the scope of this. So if we want to change how much of the room we can see, so if we want to zoom in on our character so that we get a much closer shot of him, then we would set up a viewport. In this case, I've set up one already with a width of 320 and a height of 180. So let's see what happens. So you can see our game window is now 320 by 180. And we have followed our view object here, the player object right there. That is because I also set the option over here, an object follow, to follow the object player. Following happens by using our X and our Y according to how close we are to the edge of the view. So when we have speed equal to -1, that means follow instantly. And let's see, if we move our character, as you can see, we are moving to the right and instantly following. The player character, remember, is centered at the top left right there, so that's X is 32 right there. If we come over to the right, you'll see that there's 32 pixels of space between our character and the left side of the screen, and that would be the same on the right side as well. Because the sprite width is 32, that's why we are seeing it collide with the side like that. So what are we going to do with this? Let's say we wanted to have a bigger window. So 1920 by 1080. And there we go. We now have a view of 320 by 180 in a size of 1920 by 1080. You can see right here our screen, the code that we put into our draw event. It's drawing at 32x32 over there. But our player character is drawing at our X and Y that we set up for him. And if we were to say, come back here, if we put you back to 320 by 180, and if we were to set you to be 640 instead of 320, what would happen? So you can see everything is squashed. That's because we're trying to take 640 pixels and squashing it into 320 by 1080. So just be careful when you're setting up the views. You want to make sure that your camera size and the viewport size are the same to some extent, or at least that your viewport is much larger and probably in the same aspect ratio as your camera. So I think I'll leave it like that for now so it's easier to see what we're doing. As far as views go, they're very important for being able to track your player around throughout the screen as he moves around. And like I said, showed you, you can zoom in really close to the player using it. So you can get a nice close view, and this works especially well for pixel games. As you can see, his borders are nice and crisp. This border, however, is not very crisp because I'm using anti-aliasing on the text by default, and I haven't changed that. So anyways, I think that's everything you need to know to work with views. So give it a try yourself, and good luck with your programming.